Do you guys remember Chanos, the guy with the humiliation fetish who vaporized almost an entire fund? Remember the guy that was actively shorting Tesla stock for the better part of half a decade, whose assets under management dwindled from a peak of around $8 billion in 2008 to a mere 200 million at the time he ended up shutting down his funds? This guy continues to claim, still today by the way, Tesla's just a car company, spreading lies, misinformation, insinuating Tesla commits fraud. The guy's just, I don't know it's obviously a humiliation fetish, right? In case you don't remember Jim, or you just want to laugh at this guy's self-inflicted third-degree financial burns, here's a quick refresher. Less than 1 year ago, Jim had this to say.
But the previous girl, Tesla, you are still short on, but using options, yes?
We are. We're short the stock, and we just think it's ridiculously overvalued.
Right, but betting against it has not worked out yet. What do you think would prompt...
I've noticed.
Right. What do you think would prompt the market to be convinced of your take that Tesla is just a car company?
That's correct. In September 2023, Jim Chanos, still sticking to his Tesla is just a car company story. Company's ridiculously overvalued, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. But this wasn't a new thought. In fact, let's rewind the clock almost an entire decade and hear what Jim has been saying about Tesla, the company, and Tesla stock the entire time I've been buying, and then some, starting at the beginning of 2015. On screen now, 16th of January 2015, Jim Chanos was discussing Tesla's bigger problem on NBC. Clearly, going back almost a decade, bearish on the company. In 2016, why Tesla is the anti-Amazon. Tesla's Elon Musk doesn't impress Jim Chanos. That's a red flag. Tesla stock will fall. Day before Jim made this call, Tesla stock $25 per share. Since then, up approximately 1,000%. Good call. The following year, in 2017, we're noticing a trend. Quote, we think the equity, as in Tesla stock, is worthless. Not worth less. No, worthless, as in worth zero, as in no value whatsoever. Oh, and remember, a year earlier, Jim was saying Tesla stock going lower. A year later, Tesla stock had surged about 60% in 2017 alone. In 2018, Jim Chanos and other Tesla short sellers smelling blood in the water. Later that same year, in October, Jim Chanos on Tesla, quote, it's just a car company. Chanos argued that the biggest reason to bet against Tesla is brain damage. Oh, I think I misread that, hang on. Is that he doesn't believe it's an actual leader in electric and autonomous cars. This was 2018. You'd think he'd learn his lesson by now, right? Well, 2019, Jim Chanos on Tesla. We are still bears. This was on the 21st of November 2019, which funnily enough, exactly when I launched this YouTube channel. Legendary short seller Jim Chanos dispels rumors he has covered his Tesla shorts, saying that Tesla is and remains one of our biggest and our best shorts. Okay, so let's have a look at what Tesla stock has done since this call when Jim clarified that Tesla was one of their biggest short positions, 21st of November 2019. The following day, Tesla was at $22.20 per share. Since then, up over 1,100%. So just to be clear, right here on the chart is where Jim publicly disclosed that Tesla was one of their biggest and supposedly best short positions. Here. And thus ends our brief history lesson on how to financially ruin your anus, destroy your reputation, embarrass and humiliate yourself, most likely the result of a combination of an inferiority complex and pathological cynicism. Never a good combination. Of course, I'm no expert here. I'm sure Jim has a much better explanation for why he continues to have seen things in Tesla that weren't there and not seen things in Tesla that were there. Now, if it's true that Tesla is just a car company, then it may also be true that Jim Chanos is a recipient of karma. Well, I saw this. I thought it's interesting. Now, of course, allegations are simply that. Nothing proven yet. However, I did find this rather interesting. Short seller Jim Humiliation Fetish Chanos sued by partner alleging misuse of funds. Conlon Holdings alleges that Jim Chanos owes it $10 million, and Jim Chanos calls the claims puzzling and baseless. Jim Chanos, the short seller who made his name and fortune on Enron Corp's demise, was sued by a partner that accused him of embezzling company funds for his personal use and enriching his girlfriend in the process. Now let's just take a moment. Round of applause. Jim Chanos may be the very first member of TSLAQ to ever get a girlfriend. Quite an accomplishment. Well done, Jim. Conlon Holdings, which invested in Chanos & Co. in 2020, claims that he used his firm as a piggy bank. Chanos, who disputes the claims, closed his hedge funds late last year after almost 4 decades. And obviously, the closing of Jim's hedge funds had nothing at all to do with the fact that investors had lost all confidence in his ability to act rationally, assess risk, manage risk, identify opportunities, and most important of all, not completely destroy the capital that investors had entrusted him with, the purpose of which you'd think was to grow the capital as opposed to destroy it. There's definitely no chance that investors, having seen this dimwit continue to claim that Tesla's just a car company for the better part of a decade, and then the competition's coming and Elon's a fraud and accounting shenanigans and blah fucking blah blah blah, no chance at all that the closure of these funds was an inevitable outcome of Jim Chanos thinking that it made sense to short Tesla, and then having been absolutely reamed, destroying fuckloads of capital, just doubling down. Well, lost a lot of money for you guys, but don't worry, they're still just a car company and still our best short. And yes, we're still short and haven't learned our lesson yet, and it hasn't worked out yet, and it's been a decade and it's still not working out, but they're still just a car company and the competition's still coming, and Elon bad and fraud. And the suit filed in New York State Court over the weekend involves $10 million of outstanding loans that Chanos borrowed from his company over more than a decade. Conlon alleged that Chanos, quote, never intended on paying the company back, but instead planned on using his power as general partner to run the company into the ground, enjoy the tax benefits of his financial shenanigans, and leave his partners with nothing. Now, these are some pretty wild allegations here. Again, they are just allegations, so keep that in mind. I want to take a moment to really underscore this. I mean, this is an incredible allegation. This is coming from a partner in the business. One more time. Conlon alleged that Chanos, quote, never intended on paying the company back. So Chanos effectively using the company as a piggy bank to borrow money with no intent to actually pay it back ever. Again, all allegations, but this is the allegation. And instead, planned on using his power as general partner to run the company into the ground, enjoy the tax benefits of his financial shenanigans, and leave his partners with nothing. Now, tinfoil hat alert, let's just pretend that we were going to assume that these allegations were credible. By the way, I'm not suggesting this is actually the case, but just imagine for a moment that your goal was, in fact, to use a company as a piggy bank, borrow money with no intent of paying it back, and your plan was instead to run the company into the ground and enjoy tax benefits of doing so. Won't get into the nitty-gritty, but it's certainly possible that you could have a company structured in such a way that financial losses could actually benefit you personally, and then to leave the partners with nothing. If that was your intent, could that perhaps explain why somebody might continue to bet against Elon and short Tesla stock for a period of give or take a decade, despite it making zero sense? Nah, that's just a wild, it definitely didn't happen. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be crazy? Just imagine. But again, I mean, these are some serious allegations, bro. Remember I always talk about people projecting? Like people who say that Elon's a fraud, Tesla's a fraud, Elon's a liar, Elon's dishonest, you can't trust Elon, you can't trust Tesla. Yeah, you know why projecting? Elon's incompetent, Elon's a shit engineer, Elon sucks, Elon's a bad person. You know why? Often, they project what is in themselves onto Elon so they feel better about themselves. Of course, this definitely didn't happen in the case of Jim Chanos, who is currently being accused of embezzling company funds. Anyway, let's move on. The suit also alleges that Chanos sold his luxury apartment in Miami, which was owned by Chanos & Co. So not in his personal name, but the hedge fund, seemingly, for $17.8 million earlier this month, without notifying his partners. That does seem a little bit sketchy. Chanos & Co. is the company that owned the asset, and partners in that company apparently were not informed that the company was selling a $17.8 million asset. Hey, interesting. Chanos' girlfriend, Crystal Connors, acted as the sales agent on the deal, which would have netted her $540,000 at standard commission rates, according to the suit. Quote, in other words, Chanos not only sold the company's property, but did so in a way that he could pay his girlfriend more than $500,000 of money that did not belong to him, the lawsuit alleges. That is one expensive sugar... I better edit that out. Connors didn't immediately reply to messages seeking comment. Quote, puzzling and baseless. In an interview, Chanos, 66, called the lawsuit puzzling and baseless. He added, the facts will show that the internal loan in question from the company was paid off in 2021. Conlon, a Chicago-based firm run by Sean Conlon, alleges that Chanos looked to recharacterize capital contributions to the company as loan payments. Man, this is getting messier. By the way, pro tip, this is what happens when you have partnerships in business. More often than not, who knows what actually took place? Although he's in the girlfriend for the sale of the company asset here, $500,000 commissions, jeez, pushing it. But having multiple partners in business as opposed to just being the sole owner and or operator, it's kind of like trying to introduce multiple partners into a romantic relationship. Good fucking luck. It might work out, but the odds are not in your favor. Brian Nichols, Chanos' former chief financial officer, said in an affidavit filed along with the suit that his boss acknowledged the loan was still outstanding as part of his 2022 tax return. Well, hang on a minute. Chanos, in an interview, saying the facts will show that the internal loan from the company was paid off in 2021, but then Chanos' former chief financial officer saying in an affidavit that Chanos acknowledged the loan was still outstanding in his 2022 tax return. That doesn't quite add up. So just to reiterate, Jim Chanos' former chief financial officer, as in the top dog in terms of knowing what the fuck is going on with the finances relating to Jim Chanos, said in an affidavit the loan was still outstanding as part of his 2022 tax return, yet Jim Chanos claims the loan was paid off in 2021. There's a conflict, and you have to understand, folks, in case you don't know, what is an affidavit? An affidavit is a sworn statement a person makes before a notary or officer of the court, outside of the court, by asserting that certain facts are true to the best of that person's knowledge. Affidavits by both plaintiff and prosecution and defense witnesses are usually collected in preparation for trial. Next paragraph. This is very important. In the event a witness's testimony contradicts what they stated in their affidavit, the affidavit can be introduced as evidence to impeach that witness in accordance with Federal Rule of Evidence 607. An impeachment of this sort can potentially lead to criminal charges of perjury if the contradiction was made knowingly, intentionally, or involved a material issue. In other words, an affidavit is some serious shit. It is a sworn statement. This is true to the absolute best of my knowledge. This is true and accurate. And there are very serious legal implications and consequences for misleading or lying in an affidavit. So who's lying? Who's wrong here? Because it can't simultaneously be true. As Jim claims the loan was paid off in 2021, yet in 2022 on Jim's 2022 tax return, his former chief financial officer is literally swearing in an affidavit that the loan was still outstanding. Oh boy. Conlon Holdings is seeking an order restraining Chanos from transferring the proceeds of the Miami apartment sale. It also demands his removal as general partner of his firm and the appointment of a temporary receiver. Chanos reached the apex of his fame by shorting Enron in 2000, when the stock was a Wall Street darling. In the second half of 2001, revelations of accounting fraud at the company caused investors to flee, leading to its bankruptcy. Chanos emerged from the collapse as a star in the investment world. That's right, one home run, genius. And as we heard earlier, in recent years, his investments were less successful. A short position on Tesla founded, and Chanos announced last year that he was winding down his funds, which had less than $200 million at the time, down from about $8 billion in 2008. Now, let's just do the math on that to put that in context, because these are big fucking numbers. We don't intuitively necessarily get them. Assets under management collapsed to just 2.5% of their peak. Put differently, that's a collapse of 97.5%. For more context, Lucid from peak to today down a mere 94.86%. Nikola, which Dim Chanos could have been shorting, down 99.22% from peak to today. A little bit worse than the collapse in assets under management from 8 billion to 200 million. Just putting some context out there. Again, these are just allegations, but I do just want to emphasize here, because this same Dim Chanos is the same dude who was in the finance media relentlessly for more than half a decade, suggesting that Tesla was committing fraud, that Elon was a fraud and a liar, that they were doing sketchy things with their accounting practices, lying, misleading, that the company was going bankrupt, that they were doomed, spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and attempting to make money in a short position constantly. And then you have this, the same fucking guy being sued by a partner that has accused him of embezzling company funds for his personal use and enriching his girlfriend in the process. It is important to remember that these are just allegations. It's also important to remember that fate loves irony and karma's a bitch. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. There's plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend, seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game has improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.